when we had last left, Ralof Iceblade, the Northern Crusader and Knight of the Imperial Legion, he set off in the direction of Aldrune, taking the back roads to find it. And along the way, he met yet another strange naked Nord, who this time just needed a little bit of help lifting a paralysis curse. He then arrived at Aldrune itself and met with Perseus Mercius to get some advice on his current contract with the Fighters Guild, and as far as he can tell, it's on the up and up. After that, Ralof explored Aldrune and got to know the city. And while exploring, found the headquarters of House Redoran.
Please,
intrigued
by all means, I'm
by
listening.
House Redoran's code of honor, he decided to join up. Now was not the time to do jobs for them, however. For now, it's time to make his way back to Balmora and fulfill his duties to the Fighters Guild. Let's get to it. However,
What was that?
the ash storm is still raging out there, so what we're actually going to do is have a look around this fort, because truth be told, I have never looked around this fort very much. Okay, this probably just, where does this lead to? This just leads to outside where it's horrible. So we're not gonna go up there. I mean, we've looked downstairs before, and I've been downstairs a bunch, but you know, one cannot help but wonder if perhaps there is more to be seen. That there really doesn't seem to be, is there? There's just...
How can I help you?
What's this door
Well
lead to?
met. What is it?
Okay. Cool, we can look in here, sure. Why not? Didn't do anything in between videos. Unfortunately, by way of training, there's not much here that I wanted to do. Ooh, prison. Any interesting prisoners?
What say you?
Any interesting prisoners in here? Oh, there is one. Who's there? I don't know. Nobody, I guess.
What say you?
Another level of the prison. There's some evidence. What brings you here? Evidently nothing.
What say you?
Are you a prisoner? What are you in for?
Nope, not a prisoner at all. Just looking around. Just horrible. Horrible weather. We got this cliff racer here. Die. Foul monster. Oh! It's clearing up. I think it's finally clearing up. Holy shit. Oh, we'll be able to set off on our adventures. Thank God. Don't
What
want
say
to
you?
jump down there and break my fucking knees, so we're gonna take the long way around. Thank God the storm's clearing up. We can actually get out of here. So we are going to, we could take the Silt Strider, but we're not going to do that. We're going to travel back to Balmora on foot.
Greetings.
This
What
time
shall we talk about?
taking the road that we did not take last time. Yes. Awesome. Got some cliff racer plumes. Let's see here. Trauma root. Nothing else. That's okay. Excuse me. All right, let's see here. So this is Buckmoth, Aldrune, Margon. We need to find the road back to Balmora, but we don't want to take the same road as last time. We don't want to take a different route this time around. I have a sip of my coffee. Excuse me. And once we get back to Balmora, we will deal with the matter of the code book. I don't know that we necessarily want to kill the person who has it. We may want to just... We'll definitely grab our persuasion sword. It just makes it sound like I'm still gonna kill her. We're gonna grab our persuasion sword and see if we can charm her up a little bit. Oh. A foul beast attacks. A diseased alit. I do not wish to touch that. All right. Oh, a fine woman.
Come on.
Beatrix.
I haven't got all day, you know.
You there. Yes, you. I am in need of an escort. You'll do in a pinch. What can I do for you, my lady? I need an escort to Ghostgate Shrine, and I need to be there in 2 days' time. I'll give you a tip when you get me there safely. I haven't got all day. Excuse me. Oh my God. Ugh. I don't know why that happened. Shall we go? Do we have the time? Do we want to do this? Ghostgate's kind of out of the way for us. I'm sorry, milady, but I don't have the time to take you there. I've got other tasks to which I must attend. Should have expected as much from the likes of you. A fine woman you may be, but you need work on manners. All right. Let's see here. All right, so that's the entrance to Aldrune that we came from. Let's see here. Margon, Aldrune, Buckmoth. Isn't there another way? Isn't there another road that we could take? You know what? Fuck it. We're just going to cut through the Ashlands. Through the Ash Wastes to get back to Caldera. Fuck it. Fuck it, fuck it, fuck it. We're going to make our own path. This way we get to slay some beasties along the way. That's always fun, right? Such as this Kaguti. For a minute there, I thought it was peace-loving. Ooh. Cliff Racer slowly descending upon us. You shall die where you stand. I'm not touching that. Not touching that disease, Cliff Racer. Hell no. Ooh. Another one. Ooh, hell yeah, our block skill increased by 40 to 43. What else is trying to kill me? Is it a rat or something? Oh yeah, it's a rat. Die, monster. Ooh, does paralysis. I didn't know that. Interesting. It's really unfortunate that you can't make poisons to apply to your weapon in Morrowind. You can only make poisons that you can basically drink. Which is, I don't know what the use of that is. I just don't get it. I don't know what they were thinking. All right. Let's see here. Balmora, Caldera. All right. Well, we're on the right track. At any rate. This may actually just be the same route. Yeah, this is just the same route that we took to get. I wanted to take a different route and we ended up just taking the same way. That's so funny. Well, I mean, we got to kill some wildlife, so there's that. There's always that. Okay. So yeah, I think we'll get back to the Fighters Guild. And then once we're there, we'll grab our Sword of Persuasion, the Browbeater's Blade, I believe it's called, yeah. The Browbeater's Blade. Use it to charm up, I think it's Satilde who has the thing. Ooh. Who is that, I wonder?
Speak quickly.
Bugrol Bagul.
Hey, you. You're not one of them town bosses, right? How about you help me, huh? I'll give you a present. You want to help? Sure you do, good friend. Look, those guys in Caldera think I did something bad, so they're looking for me. I'm too smart for them, though. I can hide real good. My friend can help me. Maybe you bring her a note for me? I can give you a present, really. This man is clearly a criminal. He probably broke the law in some way. I'll take the note. Good, good. I guess you know how those town bosses can be too. Mean. Good thing I'm smarter than them. You take the note to Bashuk Grabat in Caldera. She's a good friend of Bugrol. She helped me out. You're okay by me. Let's read the note. Bashuk, help. Stuck in woods because sword-smacking town bosses think I did what we did, but they shouldn't know. Keep secret. Come get me as soon as possible when you can now. I am hiding by the tree near a rock and another rock. It was raining. I am good at hiding, so if you don't see me, that's where I am. Come now. Bugrol. P.S. If I'm not where I'm hiding, look in another place. So this man is clearly a fugitive of the law, and Ralof has no interest in helping him. Now, the question is, if I attack him, does that constitute a crime? It does not. We have executed the law. We have executed justice upon this criminal. Now to hunt down Bugrol. Is that her name? No. Bashuk? Bashuk. Now to find this Bashuk and take care of her. She is an accomplice. All right, we are back. Apologies for the quick cut there. Okay, so as we're making our way back, I don't know if people are like, why did Ralof train in sneaking? I don't know. I record these in advance, but I'm just kind of preempting. Why did Ralof train in sneaking and all that stuff? He's not a sneaky type. Well, that's fair. Metagaming reason. You know, got to get our agility up somehow so that we can train our blocking, right? But if you can think of it as from an in-universe reason, you can think of it as kind of like cross-training, right? A lot of athletes will do different sports in order to train their main sport, for example. Just to take an example that I'm familiar with, a lot of fencers will also train in boxing or they'll do tennis or other such things to help their footwork, to help their fencing, right? So you can think of it as cross-training, right? Doing one thing, practicing one discipline to help with another discipline. How sneaking and blocking and marksman and blocking are related is up in the air, but hey, you know what? That's just the way that Bethesda designed things. Bashuk's house. You are a criminal and I'm here to bring you justice. You got a note from Bugrol? Oh, where'd that fool get himself? He not smart like me, you know. Yeah, that Bugrol always getting in trouble. Not me though, I'm too smart. He a good hider, but I'm a better finder. I'll find him near tree and rock and other rock. No problem. He feel better if you take this note to him, if you can find him. I bet you not as good a finder as me. Not even close, I bet. But give it a try, big shot.
Say your needs.
Wow, it's... the journal doesn't even acknowledge that I killed him. That's funny. Delivered Bugrol's note to Bashuk and Caldera. Quite a pair these two are. Bashuk Grabat gave me a note to bring back to Bugrol, assuming the little coward hasn't run off somewhere. This is so demeaning. Bashuk, I know that you're a criminal. You have conspired with a criminal to hide. You have conspired to hide a criminal. I'm taking you in. This is your last chance to come in quietly if you know what's good for you. You will not come in quietly? Very well.
I will kill you quickly. Escape while you can. Boom.
I'm sorry, it had to be done. My dear friend Bashuk, I have sent a final notice to Valvius. I'll write again when he gives me a response. Until then, please sit tight. I predict it will be bashing time for you. Yeah, bashing time for you again soon enough. Sincerely, Urgola the pawnbroker. Whoa. Holy shit, we're taking this. Urgola's in on the conspiracy too. Where the fuck is Urgola? They also need to face imperial justice. There's the note from Bugrol. More evidence. Common skirt. Kind of a look, actually. It goes well with the rest of our getup. I don't know, I might do it. It's a Redoran thing, you know? Gotta fit in with the Redoran. That's funny. What do they got? Confiscate that, confiscate that, confiscate that, confiscate that, confiscate that, and that, and that, and that, and that. She eating bone meal? That's gross. What the fuck? To be fair, we've done that, but still. There we go. All right. Cool. Okay, let's get out of here.
Once again, Ralof takes the law into his own hands. Where is Irla the pawnbroker, by the way? They also need to face imperial justice. Ergola, oh my god. This is Ergola? Ergola. Can we, does this come up as a topic? Oh my gosh. I don't know, man. Oh, he's got a Propylon index? Oh, shit. It's tempting, but unfortunately he seems to have Imperial protection. He has that guard's protection, so maybe, well, it's not.
What
This
say you?
better be important.
This might be another corrupt. The guards here might be corrupt too. Fuck. Ralof is just perpetually being disappointed by the Legion in Morrowind. Just seem to get way too cozy with corruption. There was that one soldier out by Balmora who wouldn't stand for it and decided to do something about it. But, you know. Ralof is so far pretty disappointed with the Legion. Has had a disappointing experience with the Legion here in Morrowind. A lot of corruption. There are some bright spots. Darnell was a bright spot. The champion over at Fort, I think Moonmoth? Buckmoth? I'm not sure what it is. Moonmoth. The Fort champion over at Moonmoth is a bright spot. He wouldn't stand for corruption either. What's her face over at Fort Ancillus was great too. Then there are other people who just seem to be comfortable with, you know, using the Legion for their own gains or accommodating things that are clearly immoral, like slavery. There was that high elf over at Fort Ancillus who wanted to make way too many concessions to the Halalu in our opinion, right? Wow, a lot of blight. Do not want to touch the blighted corpses. That's not good. It's not a good idea. All right. So let's get our Browbeater's Blade. Oh, we have a level up to spend too. Oh, that's good. Let's see here, 6 p.m. Ralof did just have a long journey back, right? And he's a little tired. You can see the fatigue meter going down there, right? Also had to use some of his magicka. These are things that we're going to go and sell off to Creeper. But I'll do that sort of thing in between videos, I think. So we're going to kick up our boots a little bit and do a little bit of reading. Ancestors in the Dunmer is one that we haven't read yet. I don't think. Or have we? No, I don't think we have. Okay. So Ralof's gonna kick up his feet and do a little bit of reading before he rests for the night. Ancestors in the Dunmer. Ghosts walk among them. The departed spirits of the Dunmeri, and perhaps those of all races, persist after death. The knowledge and power of departed ancestors benefits the bloodlines of Dunmeri houses. The bond between the living family members and immortal ancestors is partly blood, partly ritual, partly volitional. A member brought into the house through marriage binds himself through ritual and oath into the clan, and gains communication and benefits from the clan's ancestors. However, his access to the ancestors is less than his offspring, and he retains some access to the ancestors of his own bloodline, the family shrine. Each residence has a family shrine. In poorer homes, it may be no more than a hearth or alcove where family relics are displayed and venerated. In wealthy homes, a room is set aside for the use of the ancestors. This shrine is called the Waiting Door and represents the door to oblivion. Here, the family members pay their respects to their ancestors through sacrifice and prayer, through oaths sworn upon duties, and through reports on the affairs of the family. In return, the family may receive information, training, and blessings from the family's ancestors. The ancestors are thus the protectors of the home, and especially the precincts of the Waiting Door, the Ghost Fence. It is a family's most solemn duty to make sure their ancestors' remains are interred properly in a city of the dead such as Necrom. Here the spirits draw comfort from one another against the chill of the mortal world. However, as a sign of great honor and sacrifice, an ancestor may grant that part of his remains to be retained to serve as part of a ghost fence protecting the clan's shrine and family precincts. Such an arrangement is often part of the family member's will, that a knucklebone shall be saved out of his remains and incorporated with solemn magic and ceremony into a clan ghost fence. In more exceptional cases, an entire skeleton or even a preserved corpse may be bound into a ghost fence. These remains become a beacon and focus for ancestral spirits, and for the spirit of the remains in particular. The more remains used to make a ghost fence, the more powerful the fence is. And the most powerful mortals in life have the most powerful remains. The Great Ghost Fence, created by the Tribunal to hold back the Blight, incorporates the bones of many heroes of the temple and of the houses Indoril and Redoran, who dedicated their spirits to the temple and clan as their surrogate families. The Ghost Fence also contains bones taken from the catacombs of Necrom and the many battlefields of Morrowind. The Mortal Chill. Spirits do not like to visit the mortal world, and they do so only out of duty and obligation. Spirits tell us that the other world is more pleasant, or at least more comfortable for spirits than our real world, which is cold, bitter, and full of pain and loss. Mad spirits. Spirits that are forced to remain in our world against their will may become mad spirits, or ghosts. So that seems to imply that so the ghosts that we encounter in family tombs are actually mad spirits, right? Which means that they're in those tombs against their will, which is super interesting. So we're not killing spirits who are voluntarily guarding a tomb. It seems to be they're in that tomb against their will. So in a way, Ralof is liberating them. Some spirits are bound to this world because of some terrible circumstances of their death, or because of some powerful emotional bond to a person, place, or thing. These are called hauntings. Some spirits are captured and bound to enchanted items by wizards. If the binding is involuntary, the spirit usually goes mad. A willing spirit may or may not retain its sanity, depending on the strength of the spirit and the wisdom of the enchanter. Some spirits are bound against their wills to protect family shrines. This unpleasant fate is reserved for those who have not served the family faithfully in life. Dutiful and honorable ancestral spirits often aid in the capture and binding of wayward spirits. These spirits usually go mad and make terrifying guardians. They are ritually prevented from harming mortals of their clans, but that does not necessarily discourage them from mischievous or peevish behavior. They are exceedingly dangerous for intruders. At the same time, if an intruder can penetrate the spirit's madness and play upon the spirit's resentment of his own clan, the angry spirits may be manipulated. Oblivion. The existence of Oblivion is acknowledged by all Tamriel cultures, but there is little agreement on the nature of that other world, other than it is. Well, let's back up a bit before we continue reading, because this bit is interesting, right? I don't know how Ralof feels about this. Some spirits are bound against their wills to protect family shrines. This unpleasant fate is reserved for those who have not served the family faithfully in life. Dutiful and honorable ancestral spirits often aid in the capture and binding of wayward spirits. Yeah, I think Ralof would probably have mixed feelings about this. on the one hand, sure, it's shameful that someone would not fulfill their duties to their family, but does that justify turning them into ghosts, practicing necromancy upon them and turning them into ghosts who will go mad? That seems wrong to him. Yeah, I think Ralof would have a hard time justifying that. I think he still sees himself, whatever dishonor they had in life, that doesn't justify necromancy to him. I think that's going to be his stance there. Anyway, so Oblivion is the place where the Aedra and Daedra live, and that communication and travel are possible between this world and Oblivion through magic and ritual. The Dunmer do not emphasize the distinction between this world and Oblivion, as do the human cultures of Tamriel. They regard our world and the other world as a whole, with many paths from one end to the other rather than two separate worlds of different natures with distinct borders. This philosophical viewpoint may account for the greater affinity of elves for magic and its practices. That's an odd way of putting it. This philosophical viewpoint may account for the greater affinity of elves for magic and its practices. That sentence seems to imply that because they think of it this way, they're more magically attuned. But that seems odd to me. So what if you're an elf who doesn't see Oblivion that way? Like say that you were a Dunmer or an Altmer who grew up in. Well, yeah, just stick with Dunmer. Say you were a Dunmer who grew up in Cyrodiil and have more of a Cyrodiilic view on it, which is that Oblivion and Mundus are separate, right? Does that mean that you're somehow less magically attuned? That doesn't seem right to me. So this sentence here is odd. Anyway, foreign views of Dunmeri ancestor worship and spirit magic. The Altmeri and Bosmeri cultures also venerate their ancestors, but only by respecting the orderly and blissful passage of these spirits from this world to the next. That is, Wood Elves and High Elves believe it is cruel and unnatural to encourage the spirits of the dead to linger in our world. And Ralof would agree. Even more grotesque and repugnant is the display of the bodily remains of ancestors in ghost fences and ash pits. The presentation of finger bones in a family shrine, for example, is sacrilegious to the Bosmer, who eat their dead, which Ralof doesn't quite like that, and barbaric to the Altmer, who inter their dead, and I think Nords have similar practices. The human cultures of Tamriel are ignorant and fearful of dark elves and their culture, considering them to be inhuman and evil, like orcs and Argonians, but more sophisticated. The human populations of Tamriel associate Dunmeri ancestor worship and spirit magic with necromancy. In fact, this association of the Dark Elves with necromancy is at least partly responsible for the dark reputation of Dunmer throughout Tamriel. This is generally an ignorant misconception, for necromancy outside the acceptable clan rituals is a most abhorrent abomination in the eyes of the Dunmer. The Dark Elves would never think of practicing sorcerous necromancy upon any Dark Elf or upon the remains of any elf. However, Dark Elves consider the human and orcish races to be little more than animals. There is no injunction against necromancy upon such remains, or on the remains of any animal, bird, or insect. Imperial policy officially recognizes the practices of Dunmeri ancestor veneration and spirit magic as a religion, and protects their freedom to pursue such practices so long as they do not threaten the security of the Empire. I think Ralof strongly disagrees with this policy. In fact, it reads on, privately, most Imperial officials and traders believe Dark Elf ancestor worship and displays of remains are barbaric or even necromantic. Yeah, I think Ralof is definitely in that camp, and he strongly disagrees with this policy. It does because the distinction between ancestral worship versus necromancy just seems arbitrary. Not to mention that the Dark Elves are like, oh yeah, we won't practice. We would never practice necromancy on a Dunmer, but you do that to keep their ghosts in your tombs to guard them. just because you're doing it for religious purpose. How that doesn't make it not necromancy. And you'll practice it on humans and orcs. You probably even practice it on Khajiit and Argonians. We know what their attitudes are towards those races. Yeah, there's no injunction against necromancy on humans. Animal, birds, or insects, right? So, Ralof just finds this hypocritical. He finds this abhorrent. So I think this just kind of reinforces his belief that whenever he comes upon an ancestor tomb, it's his duty to go in there and just kill whatever and kill any undead he finds. These are all, and I think in his eyes, they're all just categorically necromancer dens. God. Oh, and now we get onto the Telvanni. Telvanni necromancy. The Telvanni are adept masters of necromancy. They do not, however, practice necromancy upon the remains of dark elves. Sane Telvanni regard such practices with loathing and righteous anger. They do practice necromancy upon the remains of animals and upon the remains of humans, orcs, and Argonians, who are technically no more than animals in Morrowind. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. So much racism. This is so fucked. Dunmer supremacy, baby. Publisher's note. This book was written by an unknown scholar as a guide for foreign visitors to Morrowind shortly after the armistice was signed. Many of these practices have since fallen into disfavor. The most obvious changes are those regarding the practice of necromancy and the Great Ghost Fence. Dunmer today regard necromancy upon any of the accepted races as an abomination. Okay, that's better. That's an improvement. The Ghost Fence has forced many changes in the practice of ancestor worship. With the vast majority of ancestors' remains going to strengthen the Great Ghost Fence around the mountain of Dagoth, there are very few clan ghost fences in Morrowind. The temple discourages such practices among the houses as selfish. The upkeep of family tombs and private waiting doors has also fallen into disfavor, as very few remains have been buried in these tombs and shrines since the armistice. In recent years, most Dunmer venerate a small portion of their ancestors' remains, kept at a local temple. Okay, yeah, so in other words, times have changed. Necromancy is no longer viewed positively, although, the whole ghost thing in ancestral tombs is obviously still necromancy in Ralof's eyes. So interesting read. Funny enough, I think this just kind of reinforced Ralof's belief that he's doing something right by raiding these tombs. Anyway, let's do a midway save here. All right, time for Ralof to have a rest. Well, let's say that he spent a couple hours reading. Yeah. Spent a few hours reading, and now I'll have a rest. And we got a level. Hell yeah. Let's do endurance, agility, strength. Could have done speed, but I want to get this up to 100. And I did uncap I used in one of my mods, I uncapped attributes and skills. So we'll be able to level strength beyond 100, which will be good. In fact, we'll be able to level all our skills beyond 100. Great. All right. So, time to go get the codebook from Satild. Take up the Browbeater's Blade. Make sure that we have it in our magic slot as well. All right. Gotta go to the corner club. Which, let's actually go ahead and just reread the thing here. Fighters Guild. The code book. Ada's Fire Eye asked me to get a code book from Satild at the South Wall in Balmora. She is Thieves Guild. And Yeah, we have to just do whatever she says. That's the idea there. All right. Well, by she I mean Adis, not the Thieves Guild person. So we'll charm her. There are a couple ways we can go about this. We'll try to intimidate her into giving it to us. Fighting her is our last option. I'd rather not fight her if we can help it. Surprising amount of talking in some of these Fighters Guild quests. Talking and persuasion. Alright. Hello, friend. I'm Satild. Welcome to Balmora. If you have a question, I'll be happy to answer it. Or try anyway. And if it's just a little advice you'd like, that's fine too. Well, I'm not here for either of those things. I'm here for the code book. Okay, friend, you know about the code book. I don't want any trouble with you, so just take it. Just don't tell anyone I gave it to you. So Tild agreed to give me the code book. Kind of want to look at it. Yup. Don't know what that means. Way over our heads. All right, time to return to Adis. Give her the book back. All right, back at the Fighters Guild.
Well met.
Well met. All right.
Well,
Adis.
here's a fine one. Speak freely.
Will do. Have you recovered that code book yet? I've been waiting too long for it. Yes, I have it. I'm glad to see that code book, Rayloff Iceblade. Send it over and I'll get your payment. Here you go. Here's your 50 septims, Rayloff Iceblade. The guild needs more like you. Obedient and efficient. If you want more orders, just ask. Obedient and efficient, that's great. Should we take some more orders? Yeah, let's go ahead and keep getting orders from her for a bit, I think. Alaviane Dessel owes one of our clients 200 septims. Deliver Dessel's debt money to me. She runs a corner club in Saran. She owes Manos Othreleth, one of our clients, 200 septims. Bring this money to me, and I'll let you keep half of it. Who's Manos Othreleth? Is that an option? So we're a debt enforcer now, huh? Can we ask about that? Right, I know that. We will ask about Manos. Who's Manos
What can I do
Othreleth?
for you, friend?
Who is Manos Othreleth?
Not a lot of pretty ladies around here.
Someone in particular? Let's see here. None of the Hlalu counselors live in Balmora. Neleno Dorvain. Adis FireEye. None of these
Greetings,
are
Lord.
Manos.
What can I do for you?
I wonder. I wonder. Let's see here. Scroll down a bit. Oh, I think it's all alphabetical. What about wouldn't it be I'm curious. Ah. No, that's not it. No, so I wonder if they're monotone, right? Well, we could go check in with Perseus and see what he has to say about this job, but I actually would kind of like to go to Saran on foot, talk to her, see what she says, and kind of figure out what to do from there. Okay, let's check our map. Is Manos someone who lives here? Manos or whatever. Let's see here. We'll just kind of hover over the different buildings. Let's see here. I don't see an Othreleth or anything like that. Okay, so whoever he is, he doesn't live here. Interesting. We are going to travel on foot to Saran, however. Again, for the sake of just doing a bit more exploration. Let's see here. Curious. No, he's not either of these people.
Speak quickly.
I thought maybe he would be, but he ain't. All right, so we'll travel on foot to Saran for fun. Is there anything I want to do? You know what? Actually, let's do some potion making. We'll do some potion making. And I actually want to sell some things off to Creeper, which I'll do in between videos. But let's do some potion making before we set off. We may actually see about doing some training, since we can now train our block skill up a little bit. Yeah, we can train it up a few times. I wish we could train it up more, but that's okay. Okay, let's pick up these things here. Perfect. Let our fatigue come back. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and do some alchemy. Let's see here. What else we got? Let's also do use the large Kwama eggs. Oh, it does paralyze. Ooh. Ooh. It's horrible. Why would I want that? Nice. Cool. Nice. Improved our skill there. Okay. Anything? Ooh, sorry, I bumped the mic there. Hopefully you guys didn't hear that. Let's see here. I think that'll do it for that. Okay. Let's just kind of move some things around so I can set down our stuff here. All right. I gotta say, as much as I enjoy being able to just kind of place things in these games in Morrowind without having to worry about like the physics going all crazy and close this door. Without the physics going all crazy. Oh, we have more stuff in here that we can use. Oh shit. Without like physics going crazy and like things basically like exploding whenever you walk into the room. I gotta say, this is a very like kind of dragging and dropping. It's pretty damn inconvenient. I'm not gonna lie. As much as I enjoy the customizability of Morrowind's menus, it's got to be said, this whole dragging and dropping thing is kind of, it's a little inconvenient. It's a little inconvenient. Oh, you know what? Elo resin, we can use this in combination with salt rice. Make some healing potions. Bit of an itch there. Okay, oh, we could use this too. Do we have anything else that does resist fire? No. With that being said, I can't play Skyrim without Sky UI. So I'm not necessarily saying that like their menu design has necessarily been, that Bethesda's menu UI design has always been like fantastic, or that it's ever been fantastic. Because let's be honest, it hasn't. But I do think that let's see here. Nice, that's pretty good. I do think that you got to bear in mind that this, you know, this kind of menu setup is pretty good for PC, right? Where I can just kind of drag and drop things around. Xbox, I'd imagine that this menu system was a nightmare, right? So as far as a console friendly design, later games definitely have more console friendly UIs. They're not perfect, but they're definitely better than this. But I'm also not the person to talk to about how to go about designing a friendly UI in a game, because I'm not a game developer, so I don't fucking know what I'm talking about. I just make videos where I play games. I don't know anything about game design, so I'm not the person to talk to. All right. Oh, whoops. My bad. You know what? Fuck it. I think we'll go ahead and just go ahead. I was going to sell to Creeper in between videos, but since we've already been doing this whole inventory management thing in the video itself, which I wasn't really planning on doing, but hey, you know what? That's just kind of the way it worked out. I guess we'll just go ahead and visit Creeper now. So let's see here. What do we want to sell off first? I don't know. I really don't know. I like my Dragon Scale Tower Shield a lot better than the Dwemer Shield, I'm not gonna lie. Even though the Dwemer Shield has better armor rating, I just think this looks cooler. Ugh. Sorry, bit of a stretch there. Fuck it, let's go sell the shields. We want to sell these off right away. We'll take one. Oh, the glass shield is so valuable. Holy fuck. Holy fuck, yo. Let's take one of the ebony maces. Well, honestly, let's just take... I don't want to abuse this too much. You could just like sell to Creeper and then wait 24 hours and then sell off more of your junk, but I don't want to abuse it too much. I don't want to go crazy with it. So what I think I'll do is I'll just leave the Dwemer shit behind. I can sell these off another day, and we'll just sell the glass shield. We're not even gonna get full value for it as it is, but still. Okay, so we're going to be a bit lazy about this. We're actually just gonna take the Mage's Guild teleportation system this time around. Make our lives a bit easier. I think that's a plan. All right. Travel to Caldera.
Speak freely, friend.
Jog down the stairs.
Let's do business.
Yes.
We may, you know what? We may see if we can get some Restore Magicka potions. We could use those for the journey. So we'll see if that guy sells any. All right. Creeper, my good friend.
Help me out! I need the money!
Sure thing, Creeper, except I'm not buying from you. I'm just going to sell to you. Unless you have Restore Magicka potions, you don't. Those are the potions I sold to you. All right. $1 max.
Thank you! Please come again!
Will do, Creeper. You're the best. Okay. Let's go see about getting some Restore Magicka potions. Before we close things out for the day.
Yes,
right.
Outlander.
I think this guy is the alchemist dude.
Good day. Let's do business.
I don't think I've seen you before. Seen you in Caldera before, stranger. Can I help you? Are you looking for services? Because I can tell you where they are. Well, thanks. I just need some Restore Magicka potions. That's Fortify, not what I need. You have 1. Fine. Okay, sure. Any potions that I can barter off to kind of reduce the cost a little bit here, my friend? Probably not, right? I feel like I like my potions that I've got. I don't necessarily want to sell any of them. I'd rather just heal a disease instead of just resisting it. It's kind of a waste, honestly. Same thing for this. I'd rather just heal it up. We're immune to frost, so we don't need that. We have so many Restore Fatigue potions, though. Do I really want that? Yeah, I want them. Oh, we have Restore Magicka potions. I didn't even realize. Oh, shit. I'm an idiot. Well, that's okay. I don't mind. Having some extras never hurt, right?
Shopping for enchantments.
No, not at all. All right. Take me back to Balmora.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. How are we doing? We have 1 point in intelligence. So just to kind of cap things off here, in the interest of keeping things even, because we're about to do a lot of traveling. We're probably going to level up some other things as we go, other than intelligence. Let's try to be a little efficient. Get some more levels in intelligence. Perfect. All right, so that'll at least give us a, a decent boost when we do level up eventually. But we are going to call things there. Zoom in a little bit. In the next episode, we will go ahead and travel to Saran, see what's going on over there, and then, yeah, see what this issue with the debt money is, and see what the owner of the bar says, whether this is legit or not. That is going to do it for the day, though. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this video brought you some joy. Now please go spread that joy to others. Bye for now.